Hello again, everybody. In the last video, I talked you through the metrics setup page. We then relocked the rubric and we effectively completed all of the setup. This has been done over a series of videos, but in reality, if you're doing this for the first time from scratch, this really only takes a few minutes of your time to click the right buttons and step through this. So we're now ready to start processing. And as you can see, I've actually got the processing underway as we speak. What I did is I just went in here, selected process 50 candidates and hit process candidates. If you wanted to select an individual out of your files, you could type in their name there and individually process. But more often than not, you're going to be just batch processing. If you've received 50 candidates or 20 candidates and then you get another 20 on LinkedIn and you want to process that batch, all you need to do is drop the files into the folder that you've added, hit that refresh button there. It's going to remap them, and then you can hit process to carry on and do that next batch. So it's quite easy to set up like that. So what we're going to do is come back, pause this video, come back in a moment once these candidates have finished evaluating. You can see already some of them are populating in. Scores not fantastic, given these are fictitious roles. But we'll come back soon, then we'll take a quick look at what this data looks like once it's all done. Hello, I'm back. We have just finished processing 50 candidates through RubiRecruit. What I'm going to do now is just talk you through some of the key output pages here over the next few minutes, just to give you a sense of the kind of output you get, how I like to use it, and why I think this platform is so powerful. So what we're sitting on at the moment is the summary dashboard page. Here you get, at a quick glance, an overview of the processing that's taken place. You're going to get your ranked shortlist and a bit of a distribution here. These may not be the shortlist that you want to call. These are just the top scoring candidates. But as an example, they might be all completely overqualified for this role. We'll get to that in a moment. But that's the summary dashboard page. I'm going to move over to candidate evaluations now. And apologies, I'm going to be dragging my face around a bit on this video. But as you can see here, we've got the candidate evaluation page with the total score in column C and all of the category scores from the rubric, the 8 weighted categories across columns D to K. We've got a short recommendation there and an overall assessment and some a descriptor on each of those persons and why the model has scored what it has at an aggregate level. I would just say again that these are CVs that I've just pulled, dummy CVs pulled off the internet. These are not real people. This is just dummy data. So you can see here I've got this nice heat map to get a sense of the quality of the candidates that I have processed. Next is the company metrics page. This is the page that I suspect you would spend most time on. This is where I spend most time anyway. And with the dozen or so people that have tested the platform now, this is where people are spending their time doing their screening. You've got your scoring here in column C. That's a really critical element. That's the score, really a match to your PD. But there's lots of other things that you care about, right, as a hiring manager. In the previous video, we talked through the company metrics page and how this is all customizable, this page. There are about 21 default fields that get passed out. For example, who the current company is that this person works for, how long have they been there, have they shown any evidence of advancement, etc., etc., etc. In the previous video, we actually added another column, experience in bridge design. So we can see here the large language model has gone through, taken our descriptors and answered yes or no, depending on whether the person has bridge design. So we've got a couple of candidates here that appear to have had bridge design captured somewhere in their CV, or it was inferable somehow out of their CV. So that's worked nicely. And you can see how, if you add in 5 things that are really important to you and you've got that supporting this data here, that makes your life a lot easier when you go to start screening your candidates. So what I always tell people with that are using RubiRecruit is I rank it by score top to bottom and then start my screening list from top down. You might get the top 10 that are completely overqualified. You might be looking for a junior person and you've got people that have submitted CVs that are far, far greater experience than what you actually need or what you're looking for. So that's the company metrics page. Really, really critical page. The next page is what I've called the combined analysis page. This page ties together the scoring and some of the other key elements from the company metrics page, as you can see there across columns E through G, but also gives you top strengths, development areas, and critically, interview questions, really probing interview questions that you might want to ask your candidate if you give them a call and you set up an interview. So this is really here designed to help you sort of shortcut that first step. Once you've done your shortlisting and you've set interviews, you can come here to get a good feel for what are the probing areas you might want to look at in that interview with that candidate. Cool. Finally, we have the detailed evaluations page. So this is not a page you're going to sit and read every line of data, because this will literally be thousands of lines of data now, because this is all 40 attributes of all of our 50 candidates now listed in here. I just want to give you a sense, though, of the quality and the richness of this data. So we've got Samantha Burke as this candidate. This was the top category, advanced civil design and technical rigor. The attribute here that they've been scored against is lead design and technical review, or lead design and technical review. So let's see what the model has said about the scoring for this candidate. So they've scored a 1 out of 5. CV states lead WSUD assessments and stormwater quality modeling. Okay. This is environmental design, not civil works design, packages, road drainage, earthworks. Interesting. That's great. So you can see here, line 8, we've scored a 3 for, let me just pick up the bar here, for client communication and expectation management. Inferred, leading WSUD and environmental impact assessments for clients implies direct client communication. So you can see here, the model has used an element of inference to give a score here. What we've done is spend a lot of time in this platform setting up the prompts and the structure to not just strictly look for evidence in the CV, but as a human would look for what's written between the lines. So inferring to a certain amount the experience. For example, a management consultant probably wouldn't put on their CV that they are an ace at using spreadsheets and PowerPoint. However, if we wanted to evaluate them using RubiRecruit and we had that as an attribute, they would score really well, because that's inferred for that type of role. Obviously, you need to be careful with using inference in a platform like this, because you don't want to let the model or even a human over-infer that experience, because you're going to get likely over-biased or over-scored candidates. So we've really got a nice balance, I think, in RubiRecruit, looking for strict evidence in the CV versus inference. We're right in the middle, somewhere nice. So the other key output pages for RubiRecruit, like I said, you probably want to spend most of your time here on the company metrics page doing your screening. Anyway, I've gone on too long in this video, but hopefully that's given you a good sense of how to use the outputs in RubiRecruit to do your screening, help you get to a decision faster. Thanks.